All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 7. That is right, week number 7 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and what we are going to do today is going to be a state of the course update, followed by me showing you 3 career databases, basically. So, well, not databases, 2 databases and then a website. But basically, I'm going to show you 3 things that are used commonly for career guidance within our field, particularly when you are trying to help students figure out what they want to do for a living. And so this is also relevant to our K-12 librarians because they'll be working with students, as well as our public librarians because, hey, anybody can come to the public library, and people do come to the public library for career advice. And then also from my academic librarians, yes, you often have freshmen and sophomores who have to do English 101 type assignments where they do have to select a career that they want to have and then do an essay on it and that sort of thing. But anyway, people who need career guidance, people who need career guidance, I am going to show you 3 resources that are very useful for those people. But first, let's go ahead and get this state of the course update going. Pause for a moment. So the main thing to know with the state of the course update this week is that the course is almost over again. This is a summer school course, so you have been doing 2 weeks of work every single week, and you have been getting through this class in an accelerated pace. And the reason why I wanted to just remind you that we are almost done is because you also only have 3 assignments left to turn in, and those are the semester-long project, which will be due on next Friday. They'll be due on next Friday, but then this coming Sunday you will have your discussion board prompt 7 due, and you will have your LibGuide due. Now, for those of you, I've been getting a lot of questions about the LibGuide, so I am going to again reiterate that if you do need help with identifying a particular source, by all means just email me. As far as like what I mean by that is like there is a segment in the LibGuide rubric that tells you that you need like a government information source, a geographic source, a biographic source, all of those types of things. And so if you are having trouble finding those, you are welcome to contact me for help. Please do not forget that. And a few of you already have, actually, and I was glad for that. So I did have somebody contact me for a geographic source and for a government source, and I was very happy to help with that. So if you need that type of help and assistance, please, by all means, again, reach out to me and we'll do that. And then also some of you, I will also say, and there's an example of this in the questions area of the course today. Yeah, another thing that I'd like for you all to do is just maybe reread the week 5 announcement. I have been getting some questions that were already answered in the week 5 announcement. I got some within messages, and then I also got one today in the questions area of the discussion board. But thankfully, one of your classmates already answered that question for you. And again, just please reread if you're having some questions about the LibGuide outside of identifying a particular source, or a particular source type, I should say, then reread the announcement for week 5 first. And then after you do that, if you still got the question, then go ahead and email me or message me through Canvas. And I'm fine with you all contacting me by all means. I'm your teacher. That's what I'm here for. It's just that I'm hoping to not answer a whole lot of questions that I've already answered. Okay. Now, another thing that I want to mention at this time is that I am still in the process of grading. Right now, I am grading the Wikipedia edit assignments. After I finish grading the Wikipedia edit assignments, I'm going to go back and try to grade some discussions, assuming that I get through with the Wikipedia edit assignments before the LibGuides are due on Sunday. The discussion board posts, I do read those, and so the reason why they haven't been graded yet is because I've been trying to actually prioritize getting you back the points for the major assignments first so that you have a really good idea of what you're looking at as far as a final grade, okay? And then another thing that I'm going to say really quickly is that Canvas does assign, it assigns letter grades automatically. So the reason I am mentioning that is because the letter grade that you're seeing in Canvas isn't necessarily the letter grade you're going to get. And in fact, let me pause for a second. So yeah, here's our grading scale. This is what I want you all to be aware of, is that with our grading scale, ignore what you're seeing as a letter grade in Canvas, okay? Look at the number. You do need that 94 in order to get an A. You do need at least that 83 in order to get a B, and you do need that 71 to get a C. You need that 71 in order to pass. Please remember that. So if you see a 93 and it's an A in Canvas, that does not mean that it's going to be an A on your actual Meizu grade. So just keep that in mind. If you want that A, make sure you get 94 points at least. 94 may still get you a minus, depending on how you perform, but it can still get you the A. So if you want the A, remember to get a 94 and don't rely on the letter grade that Canvas is showing, okay? So yes, I am going to, sorry about that. I am going to actually grade the discussion board prompts. I know I haven't graded a discussion for a while now, but that's because I was trying to get through the other assignments and get you that feedback for the virtual reference. I will grade the discussions, but again, and I read them, but it may be after I grade the LibGuides, and it may be after I grade, it will definitely be after I grade the Wikipedia edit assignments. It may also be after I grade the LibGuides, because I want you all to get your major assignments and the points associated with them first. Usually as long as you do the discussion board prompts, you still get the full points. That's why there's a bit of a delay on those, but I will get to those, okay? All right. Let's go ahead and talk about two databases and one website that you can use when you are helping people with career guidance. All right, let's go ahead and jump into those career resources. So between the three of them, I think this is going to take me about 20 minutes to do. So we should be looking at about a 25-minute video unsped. Of course, you can speed it up. And if you haven't sped it up already, you can do that now. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the first resource, which is going to be... The first resource that we are going to be showing you, and I'm going to pause this because it looks like it's better. Okay, so our first resource that we are going to be talking about is Gale OneFile. And with Gale OneFile, what you're going to want to use this resource for is, this one is especially for students. So for the public librarians, yes, you get some students in, but this isn't going to be one that you're going to show people who come into your library and are like, okay, what are some good jobs that are out there, or what's a good field for me, or what should I major in, or something like that. You're not going to use Gale OneFile for that. This is more so academic. This is more so for your middle and high school students, and for your freshmen, your college freshmen, or community college students. This is for them to get assistance with finding sources for writing a paper about a chosen profession. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's go ahead and make me small. So I am actually only going to show you all basically the search feature here. I'm not going to do the topic finder or the publication search. It's a little out of the it's out of the scope of what I think you need to know right away. I didn't use those features very much. I use them every now and then, but not very much. So if you want to learn how to use those features in particular, then go ahead and jump on this database or find some sort of tutorial that can help you with that, but I'm not going to get into those particular things at this point tonight, okay? But I am going to get into the search function and show you what I use this database for, and what this database is mostly used for, and that's going to be to find sources about particular vocations so that you can write a paper. So let's say that I am looking for, actually I like to do dental hygienist. I don't even know why, it's just what I do. So let's put nope, that's not gonna help. Dental hygienist. So you have somebody that comes into your library and they need some help with becoming a dental hygienist. That's what they want to do, or that's what I should say, their chosen vocation and what they want to write about for a paper that they're about to turn in. So what you can do is you can type in dental hygienist here, and you can leave it as a keyword, or you can make it a subject term and click search. And when you do that, you're not going to see much. And so when you don't see much, and that is the case here, that is when you are going to want to revise your search. All right, so let's actually do a keyword search here. Hopefully we'll get some more stuff. Okay, so we've gotten more things, but still not a whole lot of things. However, what we can do from here is, hold on. Okay, Dr. Jace is going to apologize for any confusion and for wasting a few minutes of your time, and I'm actually going to do a different search so that I can show this off a little better. So let's actually do librarian. So you can do librarian, and because I wasn't satisfied with what I was getting for dental hygienist as far as results, you can do librarian, and then you can leave it as a keyword. However, when you leave it as a keyword, you might get too many things. So as you can see, I left librarian as a keyword here, and I ended up with over 1,000 magazines, over 2,000 journals, 1,500 news pieces, and then some images and a video. And that's too much. So again, I can go back and revise this search, and let's say that instead of doing this as a keyword, now I'm going to do it as a subject term. And when I do it as a subject term, it'll narrow my results greatly, but then also everything that shows up here should be something that is actually quote unquote about librarians and not just something that mentions librarians. When you use keyword searches, if librarian is anywhere in the record or in the text of the document, if it's a full text document, then it's going to return. So it's going to get you a lot of stuff that's irrelevant. But using subject or using title, so I'm actually not liking the amount of stuff I got with subject for this either. So I'm actually going to do title and see if that helps. We're probably going to want to do document title. There we go. That's what I want. Let's try this again. That looks much better. Okay. So with this time, when I did it as a title search, in this database, you're going to probably be doing title searches more than you probably would be in most other databases, including EBSCO databases when you use them. But this time around, yes, we needed to go ahead and use a title search to get the most a fuller list of results, but then also something that wouldn't have a bunch of irrelevant results like we had with the keyword. So instead of doing subject, this time I'm going to do, again, the title search. If librarian is in the title, it's going to return it. And then all you have to do from there is get a list of results. And again, they're broken down by source type. So usually when you're dealing with high school students and underclassmen, you're not going to be doing too many academic journals for something that's more of like a freshman paper. Most of the time they're using like magazines and that sort of thing. And then the academic journals come when you actually get into your discipline usually, but not for general education. So once you get here, now you can scroll down and you get different information like the date. This is actually sorted by relevance, not by date, but you do have the opportunity to sort it by date if you want. But yes, you get the, yes, you get the date here. You get the type of document that you have here. So it could be an article or a book review or something like that. You got your author, you've got the publication that it appeared in, word count, that sort of thing. And then the neat thing about this is that it really defaults in the full text, and most of everything that's in this particular database, unlike things like Academic Search Premier and a lot of the EBSCO offerings, they have the full text with this right in the database. So as you can see, I've got the full text right there. And then I have all my options to download if I want, email it if I want, print it if I want it, save it to Google Drive, save it to OneDrive, those sorts of things. And you probably do want to save these things because, yes, you don't want to end up having to look for something that you've already found. So every time I find something useful, I just go ahead and download it, put it in a folder, that sort of thing. You have your own ways of retaining stuff that you find. Do whatever works for you. And then finally, just a reminder, these are automatically generated citations. So they're not accurate a lot of the time. And as you can see with APA 7 here, they're capitalizing things that shouldn't be capitalized, like against and censorship and things of that nature. So be careful with those, okay? So that is the search function. Now, also, if you want to, you can also use the subject guide search. This is just the regular search. If you want to do a subject guide search for something that's actually going to appear, you can see that librarians is right there. And then if I did like the dental hygienist, let's see what it's actually bringing back. Yeah, so it does still recognize it as a subject term. It's just that that subject term doesn't have much in it, just 18 returns in this database, but it still is recognizing it that way. But most of your stuff, like when I put librarian in instead of dental hygienist, then it's going to come back with a lot more than 18 things, as you can see right there. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's get into the second database. Our second database is going to be Ferguson's Career Center. And, come on, all right, we'll pause it again while it loads. Okay, so this is Ferguson's Career Center, and again, if you want the full rundown, if you want to really master this database, I'm just giving an introduction because I try to not make the videos too long, like absurdly long, like hours and hours. So you're just getting introductions here, but if you want to actually learn this database, go in it and start experimenting with it yourself, and then also look at some tutorials online. But what we are actually going to look at is, again, going to be the search, as well as some of these explore career options here. Specifically, we're going to do the research industries and browse professions. We're not going to do the career assessment, but the career assessment is something you can do like most career assessments that you probably have already done in the past, where the career assessments, you take a test and then it gives you some feedback on what careers would be best for you, and then find a career path is similar. As far as planning your education, I'm not getting into all of those right now either, but you can certainly on your own time look into how to master these things. But you can learn about different schools, learn about some financial aid, education opportunities, that sort of thing. And then also with Prepare for a Career, there are plenty. Every library seems to have plenty of resume and cover letter stuff, but you've got resources for that here as well as resources for interviewing and networking. Finally, Find a Career. I never bother with this. You can find job postings. Usually for our field, it's best to just find the job postings on listservs or on Indeed or on the State Library Association websites, okay? But yeah, with that said, let's go into this. And the first thing I want to do is I am going to use the browse function first, and then after that we will do some, we'll experiment with this, and then we'll just do a basic search, okay? All right. And I'm taking longer than I wanted to, but let's go ahead. So these are featured professions, and what I actually want to do is go to the all professions here, and then I'm going to do librarians again, or maybe I should do dental hygienists if they've got it. I don't know why I like that so much. Dental hygienists. Okay, so here we have dental hygienists, and so when you come to this page, here's the information that you're gonna see. So first of all, you get the overview, and then you've got like a table of contents to the right here. And so you can go to the next thing, the next tab, by hitting that there. That'll take you to the history, and then you'll get another one for the job, so forth and so on. But as you can see, first of all, you get this overview page, and it gives you a brief synopsis of the field that you, or the profession that you looked at. There's also, for a lot of them, but for not for most of them, but for a lot of them, you will have little helpful videos that you can watch of somebody who does the job, and they can talk to you about it a little bit. So you've got quick facts here. This is kind of your at a glance sort of information. And then after that, with your table of contents here, you can get into the history. Then you can get into the job, and then you can get into earnings and so forth and so on. So you've got the earnings. As you can see, this is actually a pretty well-paying field. Median annual salary is $74,000 in 2018. The lowest 10% still earned around $51,000. I was not making that in my entry-level librarian job. In fact, I did not make that until like my fourth librarian job. Okay. So that's something to know. And then you get work environment information, a lot of what people really want to know though. So let me just go ahead and skip to that so that I don't make this too long. A lot of what people want to know is, first of all, the education. So what you need, you do need a high school degree to be a dental hygienist, and then some post-secondary training. A lot of students that I had actually when I was at the community college, they were actually going into this type of work. So more common is like a 2-year program, but a bachelor's degree may be preferred by some employers. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But then also the other things that people tend to want to know: certification, what they need to be certified, get that information there. And then also they like Outlook. So, they do like employment prospects and advancement prospects. So you can get that information there, but then Outlook is a big deal. And so you'll see that there. And you also kind of get that with the overview. You'll get kind of a, you'll get basic on the advancement prospects and employment prospects, which are good. So you will see some that are better than good and some that are worse than good. There are some where your prospects are pretty bad. So let me just find one of those real quick. No, I do think they might be a little shy about labeling career prospects or employment prospects and advancement prospects as poor. This is modeling, and as you can see, even with modeling, they are listing as fair, and it's really not that easy to get a modeling job. They also listed acting as fair, and of course, you all know that with acting, it is tough to get consistent acting work. So I would call employment prospects on those poor, but they are saying fair. Okay. All right, so coming back out to the research industries, the search functionality functions pretty much the same way, but you are, again, looking at industries here and not necessarily actual professions, or not specific professions, I should say. So let's say that, and we'll stick with library and information services, which is within education here. When you click that, you've got the related professions, first of all. So if somebody says, I want to work in the library industry, these are the things that come up. There is a load more, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm just going to show you, if you select an industry, there will be the related professions within the industry, but then also you get this industry profile here, and that includes, again, overview, then background, structure, and industry outlook. So, and this is, as you can see, this is pretty up to date. You've got, it's 2024, of course, when I'm recording this. You've got information from as recent as 2021 here, being incorporated into this write-up. And then, okay. Employment of library assistants and library technicians is expected to decline about 3% through 2028. But librarian jobs are expected to have growth. So pay attention to that and pay attention to what you're reading. So as you can see there will be a decline in library assistants and library technicians. And I think that's going to come from just libraries eliminating these positions, but then also AI and automation. Those sorts of things that I don't like are going to cut into this, if we're going to be quite honest. But those are probably not going to cut into the actual librarian jobs. So they are expecting growth. So that's your industry outlook, and then you can learn more and stuff like that. And then, of course, there is the search function, which I'm going to show very, very quickly. So you can enter a search term, and again, maybe, I don't know, I've got a boxing match on in the background, so let's just put boxing and see what happens. Okay, nothing happened there. However, let's do something a little less awkward there. We'll put actor in again. Actually, we'll do it on the advanced search. So actor, and then you hit search, and you'll get these types of things. So if you put in actor, you'll get 39 articles coming up. Advice, 4 pieces for advice, 13 pieces for blog, 4 for industry, internship, 5, profession, 13, and then you can go to whatever you're looking at there and kind of look at it that way. All right. So that is how that goes, and that gets into internships, which again, I said I wasn't really going to bother with for the sake of time in this video. So we are done with Ferguson's. If you want to learn more about Ferguson's, do so again on your own time, and we are going to look at one more thing. All right, so the last thing I want to show you is a website, and it is a website that is available for free. You do not have to log in. You do not have to pay for the information because it is run by the federal government. And that website is the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. This is also very, very helpful when you are trying to offer people suggestions of what fields they could go into that could be lucrative and that would be hiring, because people, when they come into the library for this type of help, they do not want to go into fields where people are not hiring. They want to actually find a job, make money, blah, 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 blah. And so this is another area where you can do this. This is, so if you don't have access to Ferguson's, then this will definitely do in a pinch. Gives you a lot of the same information and a lot of useful information. And then there are also tutorials out there on how to use the BLS website, because librarians actually do use this a lot. This is one, I would say, of the government run websites that you will find most often used by librarians. Okay. So I'm not going to get into all the data tools, but there's a lot there and it's a lot of useful information there. But what I am going to do is, again, just go to, well, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just do the regular old search. I'm going to do librarian again. Okay, and so when you do librarian, you can get the Occupational Outlook Handbook information, and it's going to be very, very similar to what you saw in Ferguson. So as you can see, summary, expected salaries, what they do, the work environment, yada yada, pay, job outlook, all of that is there as well. So, and this is again probably something you all want to pay attention to. Percentage change in employment projected over the next 3 years. Not the next 3 years, the next 8 years at this point, but it was 10 years when they made this. They were looking at growth of about 3%. I know that what we just saw said growth of about 6%. They are looking at different time frames though, however, so keep that in mind. Total of all occupations, and then librarians, curators, and archivists, because that shows up a little different from librarians and media collection specialists. So curators and archivists, that the plan is for that to only grow probably by about 1%, the librarians themselves about 3% in that time range. And then you'll get, state and area data, which you actually wouldn't get from Ferguson's similar occupations and that sort of thing. But your data tools can be very, very helpful as well. So you've got data finders that you can use to find, and the data finders they get really, really technical, but they can be very, very good, specifically when you're trying to find information about particular locations in the employment, the employment outlook in particular locations. Okay. So that's what, some of these data tools are useful for. There are also, historical data tools, trends, and demographic data, all sorts of good stuff in there. So yes, if you want to learn all of the features of the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, then what you should probably do again is find some tutorials, practice on it a little bit, and I guarantee you this is something that you're going to use every now and then in your practice as a professional librarian, unless you're K-12. Actually, yeah, let me add a qualifier. If you're a public librarian, you're going to use this quite a bit. If you're an academic librarian, maybe you'll use it. If you're a K-12 librarian, you might not ever use it. Okay. All right. So I think that I have harped on enough. I know I said 25 minutes, and so I know I've gone over that. So let's go ahead and make it in right here. I am Dr. Jace, and we are almost through with this race. One more week. Next week of videos, and then we will be done, and you will be on your own to finish up the semester with the semester long project due next Friday. Take care, y'all.